Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, so let us start the class. So today I will be talking about understanding about mobile information design. So before going further, so yesterday I discussed about the effective usage of the mobile interface screens. So I just spoke about what is an embracing minimalism means, and how do you how should you keep a distance between the various icons on the screens, and how many components you might place for effectively projecting the the information to the end users. Also, I discussed about the mobile application users with from the perspective of proximity, closure, then continuity, figure and ground, similarity, etc. Okay. So how you have to place the the components and how navigation should happen. Okay, so all these things was discussed in the previous sessions. So today I will be talking about the understanding mobile information design, which basically tells about how you would design a interface which basically will have a required information, the structure and the use of the textual content, and how it this information needs to be structured properly so that there will be a proper visual display of information. See, you would have seen many applications or apps. Okay, it can be a Amazon app, or it can be a Facebook. Okay, or it can be a LinkedIn, or maybe it can be share chat, etc. So different kinds of apps, including WhatsApp also. Different kinds of apps will have a different set of the visual information that needs to be projected to an end user. So every app that you design, you in the sense maybe mobile application developer who designs will have a targeted users. Okay, so depending upon the need of targeted users, also the information projection on the screen is taken care. So there are different type of mobile devices, okay, which offer an exciting space to design information, fitting personalized and real-time data into a tightly constrained screen. Okay, because see, tightly constrained screen, I mean to say that you have a inch of the mobile screens. Okay, the kind of information that you see will be limited to only that screen. Maybe the font might be small, or shape might be small, or color might be different. So as I discussed yesterday, that it is not possible to have a very dark theme and a heavy text. So this information which is being projected in the mobile screen devices should be lightweight. Okay, so the first concept, that is all about the information display. Okay, so what is the information display? See, you have to keep you have to keep a goal in the mind when crafting mobile applications, because the mobile applications are not generally used for extensive browsing or very complex searches like how you do it in Google. Okay, so there should be a minimum limited features which can be made applicable, available, adaptable in the mobile screen devices. So how effectively you can display the information? Say for example, in your mobile devices, so when you swipe, you might have 2 3 4 screens. So if you just try to place all the icons which are there in the subsequent screens into one screen, so probably that is not a good way of keeping everything, so that gets cluttered. So in order to overcome this, keeping a mind with respect to a usage by the end users, the information has to be projected in a proper way. Next is a design pattern. What is a design pattern? See, normally a design pattern is nothing but giving a general solution for a common occurring problems. Okay, so for example, if I want to understand behavior of certain code, how it works with reference to the interface and with reference to the performance of an application. So over the period of time, I come out with some common problems. Okay, so like from the mobile perspective, see, normally it gets hang, or it will be slow, or battery consumption is very high. Okay, or there will be no clarity in the screen because of various constraints. So this kind of general problems, how you are going to mitigate the risks which are involved with the mobile devices. So see, one of the design pattern which all of you are aware of is MVC. So model, view, and controller. And for each of these components, so there are different, the technologies which is being used when you are just trying to develop enterprise applications. Similarly, when you are developing an apps, so even a design pattern called as an MVC is being used and adopted in different kinds of devices. So there are lot many design patterns are available. One such thing is MVC, model view controller, and the second is what is called as MVP, that is model view and presenter, and the third is model view and view model, that is the third kind of design pattern. Okay, then we have model view pattern, then we have what is called as a viper we have. Okay, and a flick we have. So there are different kinds of design patterns which are being used for developing apps in the mobile devices. You know, different mobile devices comes with different kinds of features. Maybe if you take Samsung with certain models, you will have some features. Okay, if you take iPhone with a different, say 4, 5, 6, 7, of course 10, you will have different features. So every model will have plus and minuses. It will have some strong features. Okay, so and it might have some features which might not be suitable to some of the users. That's why you can see various kind of reviews which will be given for different kind of mobiles when you just try to procure through the e-commerce portal. Okay, so that's all depends upon the individual perceptions. So maybe when I'm looking at a mobile device, I'll see what is the battery lifetime. If somebody uses the mobile, so they will have like clarity of the camera. Okay, and if others, if somebody are looking for a mobile, they are looking for more number of features. Okay, if others are looking, so they are looking for easy of using the mobile phones. Okay, so like this, each individual will have his own priority for the features, robustness, clarity, usability, and other things. Okay, so depending upon the individual taste and the perceptions, so there are different categories of mobiles. Okay, so always don't think like with a mobile which cost less than 5,000 will have very less features, and mobile which cost having 60,000 rupees will have more features. Okay, whatever the basic features that needs to be available in the mobile devices, it will be available in all kinds of mobiles. Only thing, the way of the operation, the way of the look and feel interface in the mobile applications will be different. So that's what it is. Okay, so the next is navigation. Okay, so before going to navigation, I can say that navigation is also one kind of pattern which can be used in in the design pattern concept. So basically, a good mobile design means how effectively a user can move through the various application features. It does not mean that screen should be excellent. Okay, there should be strong interfaces, There should be a sharpness in the, the graphics and other things. Okay, so how easily a user can move through the various application features is a indicator for a good design. So under navigation, we have what is called as annunciator panel, fixed menu, expandable menu, and a scroll option. What is this annunciator panel? See, annunciator panel is nothing but it gives you the information on the state of mobile devices. Each mobile devices are provided with different panels. So what do you mean by this? See, whenever you just try to open a home screen of your mobile device, so especially in say in Samsung, when you just swipe on the top, okay, you can see the sound option, Bluetooth option, okay, power saving mode, okay, mobile data, mobile hotspot, okay, then ultra saving data. So like this, there are various features will be available, which basically lists the hardware features such as network connections, battery power within the applications. Okay, in some of the devices you have to scroll from the bottom. Okay, in some of the devices it will be there on the from the top. In some of the mobiles, if you just try to swipe from the left, you can see all these features. Okay, so this is what is called as annunciator panel. So why do we use this? For different category of users, the usage of certain features should be made very easy. Okay, so if I want to connect to a Bluetooth, I need not go to settings, go to some Wi-Fi options, click there. Okay, I need not go to n number of screens just to enable one option or a feature. So whatever the frequent icons or features which you will be using it, okay, so that should be applicable on the home screen, but it is not possible to put everything on the home screen. So on the top of the mobile, so when you just try to swipe, so all this information should be made applicable. So this is called as annunciator panel. Next is a fixed menu. What is fixed menu? It is a menu which remains fixed to a viewport as users roam the contents in many situations. So what is the meaning of this? When the user need immediate access to frequently selected functionalities on multiple screens, then you can use a fixed menu. So for example, I often use messages. So when you are trying to open a message icon, you can see it is a fixed menu where it displays the date and month information, from which member it has come, what is the message, and what is the time. That is fixed. Okay, that cannot be changed. Okay, and this remains constant. Okay, for all categories and all kinds of informations. Suppose a same user has sent n number of messages. Okay, so when you just try to tap on that, all the messages or all the conversations which has happened can be viewed under that specific the message box. Okay, so this details cannot be changed. Maybe if you're looking at a message icon in certain mobile devices, okay, you have a conversation and you have a contacts. Okay, so you can see that, and on the top of that you will have a search bar. So if you are taking an Apple iPhone, so that it will be something different. Okay, similarly, if you are looking at the contacts, okay, if you just try to click on contacts, okay, contact will have a search bar, okay, and it will have your groups if you are having it, and your alphabetical list of all your friends, colleagues, or whosoever it is, all those names will be displayed. Okay, and similarly, if you just try to add a contact to your mobile, maybe to your SIM or to your memory card, okay, so there is a structure for it. Okay, maybe name, phone number, email ID, etc., etc. So all these informations will be available. Okay, so this is called as a fixed menu. So when a revealable menu is already used on the same screen, okay, so the fixed menu can be used for a certain purposes. Basically, it says that there is a template which cannot be changed based on the users or based on the devices or based on the kind of transitions that you want to do it. Okay, so and fixed menus are always accessible where user can interact with the page content as needed, and always this fixed menu contents cannot be dynamically changed. You can just only do or put some background colors. Okay, maybe some images at the background you can put it, but whatever the template that is being given by that specific organization for that kind of a device, for that kind of a model, okay, so it remains constant. Say if you look at the hardware components, maybe if you are using Samsung, okay, you have a button at the bottom and you have a left and right, the touch screen components will be available. Okay, so and each of this performs different kinds of options, okay, which will be available outside the screen. But if you look at the other kinds of devices, so these components which are there at the bottom will be available on the screen itself. Okay, so different mobile devices will have a different kind of thing. Okay, so next is expandable menu. Expandable menu is nothing but giving more informations about the contents which you are looking for. For example, I have a setting. Okay, so if I go to a setting icon, okay, so I will have connections like sound and vibrations, notifications, display, and wallpapers, and some device maintenance, and existing apps, biometrics, and other accessibilities, some software updates. Okay, it will be there. Again, if I just try to go to say display, okay, again you will have a home screen, icon frames, then LED indicators, and status bars like this. So when I'm just trying to click on one option, so it is going to give multiple options after clicking that specific icon. Say my icon name is K1. If I just try to click on K1, inside that one I will have K11, K12, K13, K14 like that. Again, if I click on K11, again I will have K111, K112, K113 like that. So you are just going deeper and deeper. Okay, so that is expand. So that is just like a tree structure. So you can keep on expanding till wherever the options is available on the mobile devices. Okay, so next is a scroll. So what is a scroll? Okay, so when you just try to open a message in your mobile devices, so you can just scroll up and down, but not to left to right, okay, but only to top and bottom. So, and this feature is applicable within the message box, okay, and outside the message box also. That means, so when you just try to try to touch on the contact wording, so you can just scroll all the names of phone numbers, whatever it is, which shows in the alphabetical order. So this also has interconnections with hardware component. See, you would be knowing mobile screens comes in two flavors. One is resistive and other is a capacitive. Okay, so what is resistive screen? So resistive screen, you have to put more pressure for the touch screen on that specific pixel. Okay, but when you are looking at a capacitive screen, okay, so just a feather touch on the screen will enable you to do whatever the transactions or whatever the movement that you want to do it on the screen. Nowadays, all the mobile devices which comes is based on a capacitive screen. Okay, so that makes a very easy to move. See, and also there was a report, a Gartner report, way back. What was the need for inventing or finding out this kind of smartphones? Earlier, it was all button pressed. Okay, over the period of time only, the smartphones with a touch screen has come. So the reason being is, so when you just try to put your, the finger pointer on the screen, so there was a lot of pressure which is being put on the four fingers, okay, and your thumb finger also. Okay, over the period of time, so many people have just lacked the sensibility in the fingers. Okay, so in order to overcome this, okay, so this kind of touch screen kind of a thing was invented in the smartphone or mobile devices. Okay, so that is all about the navigation. Okay, so ununicated panel, fixed menu, expandable menu, and scroll option. These are the four options which you can think about a navigation. Okay, so please go to menti.com and type the you know code 9106991. So I want you to answer this question. What does a good design means in mobile devices? There are three options: has more features, very strong, can easily move through the application features. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so the next question is about next concept is all about notifications and feedback. Okay, so what is notifications? Okay, what kind of notifications you would like to have it? Okay, if the user needs any new informations, application creators. What is application creator? Nothing but mobile application developers. They must use a notification. These prompts pause ongoing tasks and enable users to change processes and behaviors according to the new informations or the feedback. So that means this notifications will come under different categories. Maybe say for example, nowadays all insurances, everything will happen online. Okay, if there is an expiry time for insurance, maybe just 2 days before or 1 week before or maybe 1 month before, okay, a notification will come from that specific organization that your insurance needs to be renewed. Okay, or if you are doing some kind of recharges to your mobile, so it will showcase the notification that you have to do recharge, and whatever the amount that you have put for recharging will get expired, okay, within a day or two, or maybe today it is going to expire, so some kind of notification will come. Maybe it can be notification from your educational institutions. Okay, maybe when you are just trying to view some online contents, okay, automatically your friend might send some message. So that is a notification, or you might get information from the WhatsApp. So that is a notification. Okay. So maybe you may have received different types of notifications for the for the products or services which you buy. Probably you would have ordered some product in the the Amazon or Flipkart. Okay, maybe they will give you updates about that product or services, or it is when it is about when it is about to be shipped. Hello Vijay, క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నాను, అమిట్ మాట్లాడతాను. Okay, so there can be different kind of notifications, which depends upon wherever you have downloaded the apps. Maybe you would have downloaded some apps from the Play Stores, okay, and you would have got some notifications about the reviews, or maybe the updates which you want to do it on the the installed apps. Okay, so that is about notification. What is a feedback? Okay, feedback is nothing but a user perceived result of an interaction. Okay, so providing immediate confirmation like a color change, maybe some message, or maybe being led to a new page, maybe some kind of the opinions that you give on the usage of the mobile applications. Okay, maybe when you are taking some quiz kind of a thing, okay, so there might be options to give opinions or polls or something like that. You can have it. Okay, so nowadays people don't have patience. Okay, they immediately give some kind of a feedback if they are very frustrated with some services or the product. So a delayed feedback leads to user frustration and redundant. Okay, so it's better to give a feedback whenever you feel that okay, it is something is not going in a right way. Okay, that means there should be a provision in your mobile applications when you are doing it. Say, for example, you would have downloaded some apps from the Play Store, and you are using it, say, for 10 days or 20 days or say 1 month. Okay, after the usage of say 1 month, because the organizations which has deployed an app in the Play Store, okay, can track about the usage of your application. Okay, and they can send you a notification telling that we would like to have a feedback from your side, okay, to improve the quality of the app that has been deployed. Okay, so such kind of a feature will be there. Otherwise, what happens if there is no feedback from the end users who are using that applications? Okay, then it is not possible for the organization to improve the specific apps. So, notifications can inform a user, which offers the ability to cancel a process or correct an error or give multiple options from which the user can select. So, user must be given an option to give some kind of an a feedback for having used a specific applications. See, there are certain apps which will be paid, and there are certain apps which will be unpaid. For whichever there is unpaid, so they will be having some kind of a feedbacks, and whichever paid also they will be having some feedbacks. That means, see, there are certain apps which are paid, but they are going to give a free trial for a period of 10 days, or maybe say 15 days or 20 days, like that. After that free trial, okay, so they may ask you to give a feedback about the usage of the apps. Okay, so this will help them to increase the quality of the the applications. So this is very much important. So when any apps that you develop should have a provision, okay, to give a feedback and take the feedback, do the analysis, okay, and so this information will be very useful, okay, to the end users, so as well as for the organizations. Okay, so this is one of the very important the design aspects. Okay, next is content and control. Okay, what is this content and control? This content is nothing but the information that is being projected to a end user by keeping a few concepts of mobile usability. See, I cannot develop a design with respect to user face in the way that I want it. Okay, so there are certain standards which every mobile application developer or every mobile development or mobile device organization should keep in the mind about the standard conditions which needs to be displayed. For example, if I'm putting a contact option or icon in my mobile devices as one of the feature, so I must be able to know the complete name of that specific person, mobile number, landline, email ID, Orchid ID, LinkedIn, Facebook, his behavior, hobbies, habits. There are a lot many features if you are thinking about individual perception from the user. Okay, so how many features you would like to put? Suppose if I just put only a name and a phone number, which will not give any kind of the informations, much informations about the user. That's why even in some WhatsApp, in some other the common mobile platforms. Okay, so there is also a possibility of putting the status profile. See, all of you are putting a status profile in your WhatsApp. So what is the meaning of it? Okay, so maybe when you are putting the status profile for fun, or maybe intentionally if you are putting it, so there is some kind of a conclusion or interference that can be drawn interface from that specific status profile. Let me say, for example, you always try to put adventures kind of a status profile in your WhatsApp setting. So anybody who sees maybe for a period of 1 month or 2 months, so I can understand that this person is very much a person with very adventure capabilities and is interested in going for adventure camps or anything. So if there are any camps, adventure camps, which is being organized, okay, then you might get a notifications on adventure camps. Okay, so I can easily predict the behavior of a user for having put the status profile in your contacts or in WhatsApp messages, or say, of course, the status is. So by using a standard controls, okay, so which positively shape user perceptions of an application. See, if you are considering a given distinct personality with custom graphics or textures or on controls to invite touch interactions with screen depth, these mobile platforms can offer a minimal size of any touch points, which can control the navigation, selections, and reading contents. Okay, and just by a finger press, okay, you can sometimes save that information. You can exit from an application, you can cancel, you can update. Okay, so you can do whatever the actions that you need to do it. Okay, when talking about the controls in the user screen, say for example, if I want to change the brightness of the my screen, so I will have a control for that. Okay, so I want to block some calls or messages, so there's an option for it. Okay, and I don't want to receive advertisement from some of the numbers. There is a possibility to block it. Okay, and at any point of time, if I'm using say for example, say Wi-Fi, if I'm using a Wi-Fi, so at any point of time I can connect and disconnect. Okay, so there's a control for it. Okay, similarly for sound, I can increase or decrease the sound. I can enable or disable the Bluetooth. Okay, or if I don't want to receive any calls when I'm flying in the aircraft, so I can put my phone into flight mode. Or since the Wi-Fi connection will not be available, so I can use my mobile data. I can enable and disable at any point of time. Okay, so like this, there are lot of control components which are available depending on that. So you also know that through mobile, if you are just joining to any Google Meet or logging into some application, okay, it can also check from the security perspective whether you are an authenticated user or not. So like this, there are a lot of designs in which you can think about it. Okay, so that's all about the controls. Say for example, I can also understand if there are any icons, if there are any applications or features which has not been used for say long time, so I can just try to delete it. So when you are just trying to refresh or do the mobile optimizations by going to settings or saving mode and other things, okay, from the storage perspective, so I will have a list of all apps that is being installed and when I have used and when I have not used, whether that specific application is required or not. So all these things informations you will come to know. If you are not using certain features for a very long time, just keeping in the mobile device is of no use to you. So it just consumes the space. So you should have some mechanism to overcome that and reduce that application or that specific feature to increase the space in your mobile devices. Okay, and the switching between a mobile multiple sims is also one of the options. Okay, the mobile devices should give that option to switch between multiple sims, that is a hardware related information. Okay, and if there are two numbers say x and y, when a call comes to x, I must be able to pick only with respect to x. When I'm getting a call from y, okay, I must be able to pick calls only from y. Okay, so such kind of hardware and software controls should be taken into care, when you are doing the design aspects. Okay, so that's one thing. Just go to menti.com and use this code. So I want everybody to answer it. Around 45 students, I'm getting only response say 7. Okay, so next is intervening scenes. Okay, so what is this intervening scenes? These intervening scenes are the one which sits between the application and before using the application. Okay, so it is something like your splash screen and loading screens. Okay, so there will sometimes what happens between delivering certain functionalities and the usage by the end users, there will be some time where the contents get loaded. Okay, so that means what? See, first time when you're just trying to open a mobile device, it will say, okay, Android is loading. Okay, or if it's Samsung, it just displays the word Samsung. So some kind of a screen comes before actually implementing the uh, actually implementing the contents. Uh, okay, so only 26 students have given response. Okay, so when you want to do some kind of a application branding, okay, so we can use this intervening scenes. And intervening scenes have got two things. One is splash screen and other is loading screen. Okay, so in some of the the review and survey in some of the mobile devices, splash screen is called as home screen. Okay, so they use interchangeably home and splash screens. Okay, and another is a loading screen. So you can consider a splash screen as home and splash screens. So basically, these are the categories. So this home and splash screens show a default set of available information when the application starts or after the task has been completed. So it makes clear that when users are on the home page with a distinctly different screen. See, that means when you are using any contents branding or application branding, okay, so there should be some kind of a screen, like say for example, you have developed one project and you want to showcase it to the the experts. So before actually you show to the experts the actual contents, okay, you can just have some kind of a image about your project. So that will become like a home screen or a splash screen. So which basically tells what is that you are going to present in the consecutive slides or consecutive documents, etc. So that is what is called as a home and splash screen. So if you just, and very important is that a splash screen should not long for more time. Okay, maybe it should be there within a minute or 2 minutes. It should go. The splash screen should go, and a new screen. That means actual contents should be displayed. So otherwise, what happens? It will be a point of frustration to the people who are just viewing it. So when you are using this kind of screens, you are required to minimize the usage for a very long time and try to avoid, animate more animated splash screens. And probably if you are using more such kind of screens very often, okay, it will make the things very slow when you want to access the features of your applications. Say for example, you would have seen in in some of the movies when you are watching online. So when you just try to open it, you will get some kind of ads, okay, which is basically a branding. So if you would have seen in some data science or machine learning YouTube videos online, so first it will give you some kind of a basic information, and a lot of ads keeps coming in. Okay, so in fact the person who has hosted this specific YouTube channel will have some revenue generation for it if he is allowing some kind of ads to be projected to the users who are using it. But too much of ads is also a frustration. Okay, you should try to avoid it. So one way is to reduce the waiting time and increase the user value. That means more engagement with the end user is to store the last opened screen and display that screen the next time the application is opened. Say for example, you would be watching some movies online. Okay, so what happens? Maybe for some time you want to break it. if you just press an home button, so everything will be minimized. And again, if you just try to open a YouTube channel from wherever it has stopped, so you can continue. But if you just try to close everything, again it has to be reopened. But a provision should be made in the mobile devices and the applications in such a way that wherever the user has stopped for various reasons, from there onwards he must be able to take it ahead. Otherwise, again going from the back, again doing the navigation, so that is not the good way of doing it. So this concept is called as parallax scrolling. Okay, from wherever you have stopped it, from there it should go on, where the foreground and the background contents move at different speeds, which will make a screen appear to have more depth. Okay, so one application is like, see, you would have used Google Maps in your mobile devices. So you are traveling from, say, BMSIT college to Majestic. Assume you don't know the route. Okay, so what happens from BMSIT, you leave BMSIT and go till Hubbard. Okay, and what happens, the internet connections goes off, so you don't know how to move forward. Okay, you move a little bit, again internet connections will be active, then it will show the updated information, not from the place where you have started from the BMSIT college or not from the Hubbard. Okay, it will show you the updated information. Okay, so that information will make the user to understand current locations within the applications, and it will be more dynamic and it is more responsive. This concept is called as parallax scrolling. Okay, so advertising, you just try to enable more ads if there is a revenue generation scheme from the commercials applications. And last but not the least is typography. Okay, so typography is actually a central focus for every apps that will be considered as textual content. Okay, here the font used in any design is very, very important to attract the user throughout the mobile applications. Because see, this is basically projected like a vector shapes, which will be rasterized on devices as fonts are converted to comply with device formats. And every new devices which will enable in terms of a bitmap fonts, which can make angles of that font projections looks very bright and very sharp in the characters. Okay, so in the typography, you should think about size, shape, contrast, color, and of course the positions. So there will be strong the interactions between all these elements, and the proper text labels and alignments should follow certain guidelines. Say I cannot put the font in the way that I want it. So if you are putting a dark theme and putting a dark font, I cannot see at all. Okay, and if you are putting yellow background and say black font, it looks very odd. Okay, so very pleasing color and very in a very elegant manner, so that information has to be displayed. Okay, and left alignment, right alignment, proper justification. Because what happens when the apps is being developed, okay, so in fact the testing has to be done to suit for all categories of screen size. It might be a mobile device of say 6-inch, or it might be a tablet of 7-inch or 10.1 inches, or it might be a laptop of say 10.5 inches or 13 inches, like that, provided it has a Android operating system. Okay, probably you would have observed, if you have connected your mobile devices to your smart TVs, whatever the mobile layouts that is there, the same interface is going to get projected. But if you want to have a wider angle, so that is not possible to see it in in the smart TVs. So the mobile interfaces compound the issues of web interfaces and try to add new interactive features with respect to with respect to the fonts. Okay, so you should know what kind of font you should put at the top, what kind of font should be available in the bottom, and when the user is navigating, what kind of fonts needs to be displayed. And if there is any kind of the voice also, in fact the voice is also one of the the features that needs to be projected in the information design. Okay, these are some of the aspects that you need to think about mobile information design. So anybody has any questions? Okay, this is the last question. Please go to the menti.com. So there's an option. Choose the intervening screen in mobile devices, whether it's only home screen, whether it is a splash screen, or it is home, splash, and loading screen. Okay, you have only 50 seconds. The code is 9106991. 9106991 is the code. Yeah, you can chat in the chat box because the time is up. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll just wind it up. Any questions, anybody? Okay, thank you. So we'll be having our next class from Monday.
No,
if Shiv Kumar comes, he will be continuing class from Monday. Otherwise, I will be continuing Monday first hour. I will be sending a link to you. I think you can use the same link for another subsequent classes also. Okay, thank you.
Okay.